You've probably heard by now that Columbus SWAT officer Stephen Smith's funeral attracted hundreds of police officers from around the country, but what's happening afterwards is now getting attention tonight. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. At 11, I'm Mike Jackson.
And I'm Colleen Marshall. 9 officers sat down to share a meal after saying their final goodbyes. And they got a surprise from their waitress. NBC4's Dan Perlman talked to her and one of the officers today. He's live outside the restaurant where it all happened now with that story. Dan?
Well, you know, this is an act of kindness you will remember. That waitress was just going about her day here at the Red Robin in Polaris. 9 police officers walked inside. They sat right in her section, and that is when her day took a turn.
I just, say, hey, how you guys doing?
Meet Jessica Dunbar, a waitress, a mother, a woman who got it.
And the one guy said, it's always a rough day when you got to put a brother in the ground. Right after that, I was like, I got to do something nice.
And oh, she did. See, these officers just said goodbye to Steve Smith. Jessica took their order, served their burgers, and when it came time to pay,
random acts of kindness,
she picked up the tab, a $123 bill covered. This note of appreciation instead.
It really touched all of our hearts.
One of the officers, Lieutenant Jeff Shelton, Wellington Police, Northern Ohio, on the phone.
We were crying all day, and then you got a bunch of guys and female officers in there crying. There wasn't a dry eye in the place by the time we were done.
Jessica is a woman who knows the story about Officer Smith, the funeral, the overwhelming support this city and beyond has shown, and now she can say she did her part.
Just to have a bunch of police officers, men and women that protect us, that's what they do, and people look up to them, and to have them shake my hand and say thank you to me, that was incredible. That was just awesome.
Yeah, it really is. And you know, one more thing that Jessica told me, she said that her father is a retired Blunden Township police officer. She says when she told him what she did, it was one of the only times she ever saw him cry. Live in Columbus, Dan Perlman, NBC4.
Thanks so much, Dan. And we want to remind you there is a fund set up to support Officer Stephen Smith's family. The CME Credit Union is taking donations at all 6 of its locations in Central Ohio. You can visit a branch or mail it to their headquarters, and we've posted that address on this story on our website, NBC4i.com. That's also where you'll find continuing coverage of the story, as well as all the other past stories we've done about Officer Stephen Smith.